Okay, hey everybody. Let me push this back just a little bit here so you can see just a little bit more of me. We are going to give this a few minutes to wait for everybody to come in. We are officially at 11 o'clock. I'm so excited. You are in this workshop for the nervous system reset for emotional safety for sexual abuse survivors. I am so excited to have you in here. As everybody is coming in, I am going to let you in. And then, of course, if you would like to stay not on video, if you don't want to comment on anything, that's completely okay. I understand the sensitivity of this topic and, of course, the need to protect your safety as you come into spaces like that. I feel like that's important. So just know that I respect that and understand that. However, I would appreciate if you send me a quick personal message so that I know that it's you. I also want to respect your safety so that when you are on here, I know that it's you and not someone else is coming in here, because I think that that's also important for us to be able to do that. So again, we're just going to give everybody a couple of minutes. We'll probably start roughly at 11:05 in case you are watching this on the replay, in case you are watching this on the replay and you need to watch this on the replay. Just 1 second. Gonna make sure. Okay, we're having people come in. I'm so excited about this. This is the first time that I have ever done a workshop with this style. So there might be a little hiccups, but we are going to get things worked out. I am so excited to do things this way because I kind of think it gives you more of an interactive feel to it. So that you're not just sitting and listening. I understand how boring that can be, especially if we're running this for 2 hours, right? So just know that it is going to be interactive. There's going to be time for you to journal. There's going to be time for you to meditate. And if you feel like you need support at the end of this as well. And just as a caution, at the end of this, when we get into the support section of this, I am going to end the recording there. If I do not remember to end the recording there, please feel safe and comfortable to remind me that I promised you that I was going to turn off the recording. I feel like because of the sensitivity of the topics that we're going to discuss and your questions, again, I don't want those out there in public view. And I feel like that's also the benefit of showing up live is you get to have this coaching, you get to have this one-to-one support. And I just feel like that is important. Let me go ahead and get the transcript going as well. Again, while we're going into this, I do want you to be aware if you have questions, just type in, put a Q in front of it and just type in question, and I will come back and put it in the support section so that that way, again, your identity is being protected, you feel safe. And that way, if you don't want to come on camera, we have that available to us. So again, we're going to give this about 1 more minute and then we're going to get started diving into the medicine of this. I am so excited. I'm going to figure out how this is going to work along the way. I kind of feel like I really should have done a PowerPoint for the journal prompts, but we're going to figure this out. I know that there's a whiteboard option, so we'll figure this out. Okay, I'm so excited to be doing this. I already have next month's workshop all figured out. It was inspired from a post just a couple of days ago. So I'm really excited to see how this one goes and then see how the next month goes. And I'm so glad that that came in from inspiration. This one came in from inspiration as well. I had taken a break. Things had gotten really crazy for me as I was finishing my master's degree over the last couple of months and just really had to take a break from everything. I was really running on E at that point. And so I just really had to take a break. And I'm glad that I did because I feel very ready for this and I'm so excited. Okay, it's officially 11:05. I don't think that you should have to wait any further. So let's go ahead and get started with this. I tell you, you don't have to wait any further and then take a drink of my coffee. Okay. So I have notes here. So if you see me looking down, that's what's going on. So we are going to be in a 2-hour workshop. We are going to do the learning, or what I like to call the medicine. This is where you are going to learn about your nervous system. And then we're going to go into the integration piece of it with the journaling. Then we're going to release with the meditation. And then you're going to receive coaching and support if you feel like you need that. We may not need that, and that's totally okay. And maybe, that's totally okay. If we don't need the support, that's totally fine. We can jump off the call, all of the things. This is essentially the 4 elements that I strongly live by. My coaching is like this. The community made membership is like this. And I feel like it just really delivers a full body integration and healing. And it came from my education. It came from my experience. It came from putting, together multiple coaching programs together. So, as this is a free workshop and it is all about resetting your nervous system for emotional safety. So, the whole goal of this is to really create emotional safety for you. Because as a survivor, you already know that you probably feel pretty numb. And the emotions that you are probably most comfortable with are anger, maybe sadness, maybe some depression and anxiety, which is kind of a mix of all the emotions, right? And we feel like our heart's racing and everything feels out of control. So we are usually really tapped into those emotions. The whole goal of emotional safety is to, yes, be able to feel those emotions, of course, but it is also to be able to grant us and give ourselves the permission to feel joy and pleasure and ease, which as you learn, as you go through your healing journey, it is really not really about being able to sit with the heavy emotions, but it's really about allowing more of the other emotions in that we really want to feel. So you're probably here because obviously you're a survivor. You've been through so much. You might be an overprotective mom. You might have emotional outbursts, even though you feel numb pretty regularly. Um, you can't get present no matter how hard you try. You have a hard time connecting with your children, even though you deeply love them. And this could even look like being able to play with them. This is one of the hardest things that I deal with as a mom. I really have a hard time connecting with Aubrey through play. You procrastinate on anything that truly matters to you. You're disconnected from your body. You feel numb most days. You want to feel happiness and peace, but you rarely do, or you won't allow yourself to. You want financial freedom, but you find yourself bound to the grind because everyone depends on you. You want change, you want to heal, you want peace, and you want purpose, and you want to feel like you again. So let me know in the comment section if I missed anything that might sound like you. I would love to hear from you. If you feel safe and comfortable leaving comments, if you don't, I completely understand that. Just be aware of that. That's completely okay. But if you feel like I missed anything, please leave it in the comments. Let me get a drink. Oh, I bought this cup in SeaWorld the other day. It was like a month ago. And I bought it because it says 2025, and that's the year that I got my master's degree. I just finished. So I had to have the cup because it said 2025 on it. Anyway, just a little just a little side note. So, in case you're new to me, I am Angela. I am a trauma healer. I am a certified professional coach twice over. I'm a trauma informed coach. I have hypnotherapy certification, NLP certification, timeline therapy. Did I already say that? NLP. I have all the things. Okay. I also have a master's degree in transpersonal psychology, and I have been on my own healing journey for 10 plus years. It really started with scraping the surface with personal development. And then I remembered what happened in my childhood about 3 years into the journey, and I did absolutely nothing with it. I thought, it's not a big deal. It doesn't affect me. And then 2 years later, I actually got pregnant with Aubrey and realized, holy shit, this does affect me. I barely had known her dad when I got pregnant. And I really didn't really want to have sex that night and still did. And I knew that a lot of that had to do with my history because I've also was attacked at 19 and at 26. So I had a lot of history with sexual trauma. I've been helping women heal their trauma for about 5+ years now. And I just really love to do this because I have been able to find closure and find peace and not have as many, flashbacks and triggers and all of those things that we have to deal with as survivors. And I love to do this and give back to women with these free workshops because I do believe in access. I believe access is so important, and I believe that all women deserve to heal. And some of us are not always in a financial place to completely invest. And so I feel like I do these workshops to give back in that way because I want you to be able to have something, because I feel like when we find the right place, the right community, the right learning, that gets us to the next level to be able to invest in ourselves. So I love doing these workshops. I love overgiving. If I could heal the world, I absolutely would. But a lot of it has to do with believing that if we healed, the world would actually change and shift because we would make different decisions. We would do different things with our lives. We would have different partners. We would raise our kids differently. Our schools would be different. Our government would be different. All of those things I feel like are highly connected to the way that we operate as women because we are running the household. We are making decisions. We are going to work. We are raising our children. And so I know that that sounds like a lot and it might be overwhelming, but I feel like the more that we're healed, the more things change because we're embodying that worth. We're showing up with confidence. We have high self-esteem, and those things play a huge role in the way that we operate or don't operate if we don't have those things. And a lot of us don't have those things because we do have this sexual abuse in our history. And so if we can heal, then these things can shift. And I am all about that. And that is why you are here today with me so that you can have access to these kinds of workshops. Okay, so let me know if you're still with me. Throughout this workshop, I am going to talk about the community-made membership, which has just been revamped. I'm so excited to talk about it a little bit throughout this entire workshop. And I will talk about a little bit about my one-to-one program. This is an invitation that if you feel like you were aligned with the next step, that you are invited to do so, whether it's with the membership or whether it's with a one-to-one with me. That is an invitation there for you. But this workshop also gives you a taste of how it would be to work with me and how we operate and how things actually work. Regardless, you are going to get something out of this workshop, and I hope that it's going to be insights, healing, breakthroughs. That is my goal for you, regardless of whether or not the next aligned step is aligned for you. Okay, but let's get into why you're here, right? Let's get into this medicine. So let's really talk about the nervous system. And this is going to be very crucial to help you understand how to actually reset your nervous system. Before we dive into the nervous system, though, it's very important for us to understand what trauma does and what it actually is. because there's a huge misconception on what trauma is. So trauma is not the event. It is what happens inside of our bodies as a result of the experience. So this is an imprint of the lack of emotional cycle completion. So that means that when we're experiencing this trauma, there's an imprint on our body that does not allow us to release the stress response, and therefore it gets stuck in our body. What happens is this creates painful narratives and and and, and orphaned parts. So painful narratives are things like, money is the root of all evil. I can't heal because it happened in my childhood or it was so brutal. Orphan parts are like inner child parts, good girl parts, your inner critic, all the doubt. Those are actually orphaned parts. And I just want you to be aware of that so that you can kind of understand how maybe incomplete stress responses are actually showing up in your life. Where do you have some painful narratives that you're carrying that might be preventing you from being able to heal fully? Or where do you have orphan parts that you are seeing showing up in your life, especially with the doubt or the inner critic or the good girl, right? The good girl is the one that kind of is the people pleaser, doesn't have any boundaries, things like that. Are those things showing up in your life? In my one-to-one, we actually really go in to release these painful narratives that keep us from being able to move forward. We do this by releasing without reliving, and we go through a whole parts work in my one-to-one program to be able to release the doubt and the inner critic and the good girl. It is so powerful because it really creates this integration. Now, what exactly is integration? Integration just means to become one with. So when we have all these orphan parts, it's kind of like we were this whole at one point, and then something happens, we have this trauma, and then parts of us start breaking off. And what we're doing is these parts that have been broken off is we're bringing them back into us so that we can be one again, so that we can be whole again. That is essentially what that is. And we go through that in my one-to-one program. So again, I think I gave you examples. Okay, you can't a painful narrative. You can't find closure if it didn't happen in your childhood, or you can only find closure if it didn't happen in your childhood or it wasn't that brutal. That was something that just came up. I think it's so powerful to be aware of what kind of narratives we're playing in our mind that are actually preventing us from totally being able to heal. And again, the orphan parts, inner child, good girl, doubt, inner critic, and so on. Again, my one-to-one program is all about releasing these so that you can completely heal and completely integrate without reliving them. So now let's dive into the nervous system truly. If you have any questions, again, just put a Q and then put the colon and just say that you have a question, and I will get to them in the support part of this. So now let's talk about the nervous system. Okay, so we have a main nervous system, and this is called, I hope I say this correctly, okay, autonomic nervous system. Then we have the parasympathetic nervous system, and then we have the sympathetic nervous system. I'm reading directly from my notes on this because I always get them mixed up. So your parasympathetic nervous system, this is your rest and digest. Okay, this is where you're feeling calm, you're feeling relaxed. You can tap into your intuition, things like that. Your sympathetic nervous system is what triggers your fight, flight, and freeze, okay? Essentially. The goal is to not ever trigger the fight and flight. The goal is to be able to allow yourself to move through both of these systems with ease. So if something happens and it does spike you into your sympathetic nervous system, you're easily able to come into the parasympathetic nervous system. That is the goal. The goal is to never not be in that space. The reason why it's important to be able to move through them with ease is because your sympathetic nervous system, the goal of it is to help you survive, right? It's a very primal system. So that means that if a tiger was chasing you, that means that that system would trigger everything so that you could essentially survive, right? You're not going to need to go to the bathroom. There's not going to be any overthinking. There's not going to be any doubt running around. You're just going to take action at that point, depending on what it is, right? So that's the goal of that, is to help you survive. So we want that so that we can continue to survive. Now, the problem with that is that most of us are not running from tigers, at least I imagine not. Now these tigers are sending emails, getting on the calls, seeing doctors, going to therapy, investing in ourselves, having conversations that are uncomfortable, confronting, reporting, things like that that are triggering this sympathetic nervous system. What happens when you experience trauma, especially sexual abuse, and it's ongoing and it hasn't allowed us to complete that stress cycle that we talked about, is that you stay in the sympathetic nervous system for too long. When you stay in it for too long, you experience things like hypervigilance. So that means that you need to know where every exit is. Maybe you need to know where every window is. You look around you to make sure that you know who's there. Maybe you don't sit in certain chairs at restaurants or waiting rooms or things like that. And I would love to pretend that I don't do this, but even when I'm waiting in certain places, I sit in certain places so I know who's coming in and out of the door. So there are still some things that still sit with me even after all of the healing. It's not as bad as it was, but that is something that I still experience till this day. So, are there things like that with hypervigilance that you need to make sure that your back is not to the door? You know who's coming in. What do you examine when you walk into new places? Things like that. Maybe you also have hyper independence. You don't want to ask anybody for help. Even if someone offers help, you don't necessarily know how to receive it. You might experience like being sick, high stress levels. You put on weight easier. You don't sleep well. You don't trust people. You have anxiety. You deal with depression. You don't have boundaries, and you don't essentially take care of yourself. You don't really put yourself first. And if you do put yourself first, you feel absolutely guilty for it. So that's kind of what that looks like if you have stayed in the sympathetic nervous system for too long. This is why it might be really hard for you to really come into a state of calmness or relax or not allow yourself to or you don't allow yourself to sit down. You're not allowed. You just have to be on the move. It has a lot to do with this incomplete stress response that we haven't allowed our body to fully release it. Now, the part of the reason why I created this is because I want you to know that you can release without reliving. You can reset your nervous system. And a lot of the times when we come into a place of being in this sympathetic nervous system for too long, we also isolate ourselves. We tend to not be around people a lot. That is like my biggest coping mechanism that I have ever created for myself. And now, as I have healed so much, I know how important it is to have a community so that you're not only healing and doing these things, but you have women around you that understand that you are going through the same thing. And that's part of why I created the community made membership, so that you can have that as well, so that you can reach out to people, so that you can see people are going through their journeys and being able to rely on each other, support each other, and trust that, I'm not alone in this and I don't have to be isolated. I am allowed to release this. And the reason why it's going to be so important, because and able to move out of the sympathetic nervous system and come into the parasympathetic nervous system is it's not just about rest and digest. I know that there's so much out there that talks about you want to be in rest and digest. But the thing is that there's a deeper level to it, and it's actually safety and connection. And where do you find safety and connection? Within relationships, in relationships that you can trust, in a community that you can depend on, in a community that you can rely on, and that they're going to be there for you. And I feel like that's a huge piece of it. It's why I stress safety in everything that I do. It's why I talked about safety of protecting your identity, protecting your identity. If you don't want to comment, you don't have to comment, just things like that. So you feel safe coming into this space and trusting that your identity is going to be kept private, and just anything along those lines. When we work together one-to-one, the same thing. Your safety is so important to me. And the reason why is because we are survivors. And one of the most important things that you can create in your life is safety. In order for you to find this safety, it happens in relationships. And so I think it's so important for you to be aware of that. And the more that you can have safe relationships, the easier it's going to be for you to come into the parasympathetic nervous system and reset. Okay, so let's talk about how you can regulate your nervous system. Okay, take note that the regulation of your nervous system is actually about the exhalation. It's about the out breath, which means that exercise, walking, running, intense workout, yoga, Pilates, all of those things that kind of cause you to get your breath like really worked up, that is going to be so helpful to regulating your nervous system. Another example is going to be EFT tapping. EFT tapping is where you tap on acupuncture point within your body to help you relieve stress and lower cortisol, which of course helps reset your nervous system. That looks like this. Okay, you see people do this. I am not certified or anything like that in that modality. However, I do use it pretty regularly to help me lower my stress levels or just kind of release any overthinking that's happening, especially because I have spent so much time integrating. Sometimes it's really about the action and not necessarily spending all the time healing and doing all of those things. Now, again, it's been because I have 10 years of it, not because I just started. So just kind of be aware of that. Also, there's a 90-second release method. I teach this to both my one-to-one clients and my community-made membership clients. I think it's so important for them to have this. You can actually release your emotions and allow them to complete that emotional cycle within 90 seconds. Also, another one, of course, is to release without reliving. This is a technique that I do with my clients. It is so powerful. I love it. And of course, meditation, you are going to get a vibe for how I do the meditations here in just a bit. I think it's so powerful, and I can't wait to do that with you. So as we're talking about this, I would love to hear if anything came up for you as we were moving through this email. Also, just a note, there are all those tools out there in your healing starter kit that was emailed to you. Let me actually go in here. Let me go in here and, oh, okay. I guess I cannot put any links. I wish I had known that. Okay, noted. Okay, I can't minimize the screen, so of course I don't have... Oh wait, I can go like this. Just kidding. I figured it out. Okay, so this is the starter kit, just in case you didn't see it come through in your email. There's that. Okay, so now we are actually going to go into our 30 minutes of journaling. Now, I think journaling is one of the most powerful things that I've ever done. I have so many videos out on my YouTube channel that you can check out. I didn't think about getting the link on that, so but in your starter kit, there are hella videos on that kind of stuff that you can check out so that you can see my YouTube. So there's that. But also, I'm so excited to say that I actually have a journal for you here where it actually just has blank okay. It just has blank writing pages and plus coloring affirmations. So I love that. I think it's so cool. So let me drop that for you. This is I'm just going to write pink journal for time's sake. This is the perfect companion for if you're coming into these workshops and doing these workshops. It has space for you to write and doing all of those things if you haven't checked it out already. And also, of course, I have the recovery journal. The recovery journal is specifically for women that have experienced sexual trauma from their childhood. So I'll put that in there for you as well. If you were watching the replay, don't worry about it. All of these will be linked for you. Okay, there is that. So let me go in here and pull up the whiteboard. This way you're able to see the comment, should be able to text. Okay, so this way you can also see the journal prompts as we are giving them. So what's going to happen is I have five journal prompts for you to go over and work through. And then I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to work through them on your own. So this way you can do this as we are moving along. I will set the timer on my phone. You won't have to worry about it. And what I actually do normally when I'm journaling is I do some like noise in the background that also has subliminals in it. So it like taps into your brain and helps you rewire your brain at the same time. So let's go ahead and go into this. The first one is, what does emotional safety look like, feel like for you? Okay, there's your first question. You can get out your journal and pen. I probably should have said that to begin with. Okay, timer. Here we go. 5 minutes. Okay, and let's begin now. 5 minutes. And let me put some music on for you. Hopefully you guys can hear this. I don't know if you can actually hear it. I should have thought about that, huh? Okay, I'll be quiet now. We have about 2 minutes left. And about 30 seconds left. Okay. And that's time. So now we are going to go into our second journaling question. See how this works too. Oh, cool. Okay. Mm, Do you feel in control of your own emotional safety? Why? Why not? Okay, let me get the timer going back again. Okay, and the time starts now. About 2 minutes left. And 30 seconds left. Okay, and that's time. Now let's go into question 3, which is, what is one thing you can let go of right now that would get you closer to emotional safety? So again, it's what is one thing you can let go of right now that would get you closer to emotional safety? So let's go in for the timer. Okay, your time starts now. Mhm. About 2 minutes left. About 30 seconds left. Okay, and that's time. Okay, let me pause the sound. Okay, so now question number 4 is when you think um, about the best version of yourself, what would she do to create emotional safety for herself? Okay, so again, it's when you think about the best version of yourself, what would she do to create emotional safety for herself? Timer starts now. And about 2 minutes left. About 30 seconds left. Okay, and time. Okay. Now, question 5 is what is one action that you can take as soon as we are done with this workshop that would create emotional safety and change your life forever? Okay. For some of you, you're already going to know the answer to this like right away. And when you have this answer to it right away, I want you to, what am I going to do? What's the plan? How am I going to execute on it? When am I going to get it done? I want you to really work those out. So there's absolutely no confusion on how you're going to execute as soon as you're done with this workshop. All right, timing starts now. And 2 minutes. And about 30 seconds left. Okay, and that's time. Okay, we're going to remove all this off of my phone. Okay, those were your journal prompts. Okay, I hope we could see all of that. Okay, so, how was that? That was all about kind of integrating, really become aware of, what was coming up for you when we were talking through the learning, how you can create your own emotional safety, and what actions you can take to actually do that because healing and action really go together. Now, my one-to-one clients, they get specific for them journal prompts, but inside the community made membership, there is a plethora of journal prompts that are pretty similar to that. Some of them are kind of deep hitting. Some of them make you go, oh, I don't really want to answer that question. But they're worth it every single time. So now we are actually going to go into the meditation. Now, with my meditations, they are also energy healing. They are hypnotic by nature. I do have a certification in hypnotherapy. And what I have done is really interlace that experience and that knowledge and that certification inside the guided meditations. The reason why I decided to do that is just because I didn't really feel like that specific hypnosis was actually working for my clients and why we were working together. That is not to say that hypnosis doesn't work. I do believe that it truly does. However, with this kind of work that we're doing, I felt like we needed something a little bit deeper. And so I intertwined energy healing and my hypnosis, all of that together to make some of the most potent meditations that you will ever experience. My meditations are not necessarily about focusing on our breathing. It is really, truly about focusing on the journey that we are going through. Now, for this meditation specifically, the goal here is to create emotional safety. So we may not go as deep as we normally would with some of my meditations. Inside your emotional starter kit, the companion to this that should have been emailed to you, I left it here in the links in the comment section in the chat if you have not actually received that. So you can check that out. But it actually links to my guided meditation that is actually specific to resetting and rewiring your nervous system. Now, my one-to-one clients, they get three, I believe, reset and rewire meditations, and they are some of the most potent guided meditations I have ever created before in my life. And so they are so powerful. So what that means that if you experience some things coming up, it's not because the meditation isn't working, it's because those things are truly ready to be seen. They're ready to be healed. They're ready to be let go of. In our meditations, some of that's going to happen. What happens is we're clearing out all this yuck and gunk that is maybe within our minds and our bodies and things like that that we haven't really been able to allow ourselves to let go of, so we can allow more clearing and more energy in. And so what we're going to do with this guided meditation again is we are just going to allow ourselves to be an emotional safety. So we may not go that deep. Now, with that being said, please, please make sure that you are in a safe and comfortable environment where you will not be interrupted. Please do not drive. Please do not operate heavy equipment, all of those things, so that we're keeping everybody involved very safe within inside this meditation. Now, here's a reminder about meditation. Meditation is not necessarily about all of a sudden making all the thoughts go away, right? There's a huge misconception on meditation altogether. The thing is that eventually you will get to that space if you practice consistently. And it does take practice consistently in order for you to get to that space. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, I'm not really a meditator. That's not something that I've practiced or whatever. Don't worry about it. What you're going to do is you're going to see the thought and you're just going to let it go. Okay. You're going to see the thought, let it go, and come back to my voice. I even guide you through that a couple of times throughout the meditation. If you have thoughts spinning around in your head, know that it's normal. If this is one of the first times that you've ever meditated, guided meditation is probably going to be your best friend, especially as we go on these journeys. The reason why is because when you go to sit down to meditate for the first time ever, your mind is literally like, this is not fucking safe. Okay. This is not safe at all. Your mind's going to go crazy. You're going to feel like you can't sit down. All this stuff that's running around in your head. You're like, I wasn't even thinking about this 5 seconds ago. Every little sound is going to annoy you, drive you crazy. And it's going to get to the point where you feel like you can't do this. That is so normal. Okay. It's normal. It's normal. Just trust that you are going to come into the meditation. If this is too much for you, you can pull yourself out of the meditation. You are safe. You are in control. Nobody else is. Just because I'm guiding it does not mean that you cannot take yourself out of the meditation. Okay? All right. Again, we are just going to take a journey. If you do not feel safe or comfortable with this, by all means, you can watch, I guess. That might be kind of weird, but it is what it is. I don't know you're really watching because I'm going to be meditating. I'm going to be closing my eyes. So that's where we're going to be. We're going to meditate probably about 20-ish minutes, okay? So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes and get really comfortable. Okay, you can lie down or sit down. There's no right or wrong. I don't care what other people tell you. Okay, because the goal here is to be able to go through the meditation, okay, and then you can get into the technicalities of it. The safer you feel, the easier the meditation is going to be for you. Okay, go ahead and close your eyes and just allow yourself to get really comfortable. And go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, allowing yourself to relax. Good. Take another deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, allowing your shoulders to release, allowing yourself to feel supported where you're at, allowing yourself to relax, allowing yourself to go into peace. Good. Take another deep breath in through your nose, Out through your mouth, feeling totally and completely relaxed now. If you hear any outside noises, people talking, deliveries, planes, pets, kids, know that it's all okay. They're going to take you deeper and deeper into relaxation, deeper and deeper into peace, deeper and deeper into awareness. Today's intention for our guided meditation is just to create emotional safety, to feel it within our bodies, within our minds, and to allow us to come back into this space anytime we need it, and allowing us to take any action to create that emotional safety. Now just allow that intention to absorb into your body and into your cells. And just let it go, trusting that we're going to get there in perfect and divine timing for you. Now, as you go deeper and deeper into relaxation, deeper and deeper into peace, what I want you to do is I want you to start at the crown of your head. And I want you to release, let go, wash away any tension, any stress, any disconnection, any thoughts that are spinning around in your mind. I want you to just let it all go now. Good. Now go ahead and drop into your third eye, which is just between your eyebrows. And again, you're going to release, you're going to wash away, you're going to let go of any stress, any worries, any anxiety, anything you can't see clearly, anything that might be blocking you from reaching your potential. You're just going to let it all go now. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is drop into your throat. And again, you're going to release, you're going to let go, you're going to wash away any worries, any stress, any anxiety, any words that you wanted to say but didn't, and any words that you said ungracefully. Maybe the words that you wanted to speak but never could. Anything that is blocking you from fully speaking your truth, you're just going to let it all go now. Now drop into your heart space. And again, you're going to release, you're going to let go, you're going to wash away any stress, any worries, any anxiety, any shortness of breath, any tightness in your chest, any soreness, any hate, anything that's keeping you from love. You're just going to let it all go now. Good. And as you go deeper and deeper into awareness, you're going to drop into your solar plexus. And again, you're going to release, you're going to wash away, you're going to let go of any stress, any worries, any anxiety, anything that's keeping you disempowered, anything that is keeping you from freedom and independence. You're just going to let it all go now. Good. Now drop into your sacral And again, you're going to release, you're going to let go, you're going to wash away any stress, any worries, any anxiety, any fear, any soreness, any stiffness, anything that's blocking your creativity, anything that's blocking your sexuality, any shame. You're just going to let it all go now. And now I want you to drop into your root. And again, you're going to release, you're going to wash away, you're going to let go of any pain, any soreness, any stiffness, any worries, any fears, any anxiety, any blocked trauma that's ready to go now. You're just going to let it all go. Now, any energies in your legs, your thighs, your shins, your calves, your feet to your toes, you're going to do the same thing. Anything that is sore, stiff, worries, anxiety, stress, anything that is holding you back, you're just going to let it all wash away into the ground from your feet. Good. And as you go deeper and deeper into relaxation, deeper and deeper into peace, know that you are safe here. Know that you are protected. Know that you are in control. And if you have any thoughts spinning around in your head, I want you to see them, view them, let them go. See them, view them, let them go. See them, view them, let them go, and come back to my voice. Now I want you to imagine that you are going to your heart space. And you're trying to get to your heart, but it's blocked, it's barricaded. But you know how to let these barricades go. So one by one, you let them go. And as you're letting these barricades go, you notice that this bright, white, beautiful light starts emanating brighter and brighter with each barricade that you let go of, until there are no barricades left. And you walk through this light, and it feels familiar, feels like home, feels like safety as you walk through it. And as you keep walking through this light, you get to this beautiful, lush green garden. Maybe you can hear the birds and see butterflies and dragonflies and ladybugs. Maybe there's beautiful flowers all around you. And you look up and the sky is perfect, the weather is perfect, the temperature is perfect. Everything that is perfect for you. And you just keep walking around in this garden. And then you get to the center of this garden. And at the center of this garden is this big, white, fluffy cloud. You might think it's a little strange, but you know that this cloud, it's yours. So you get on the cloud, and it fits perfectly to you, like it was your own dreamed up bed. And it feels so comfortable and safe that you allow yourself to just lie down there. And you just lie there in this beautiful garden. And as you go deeper and deeper into relaxation and deeper into peace, you just notice how safe you feel. You can feel it all over your body. You recognize its safety. You notice how calm you feel. It fills every inch of you. You notice how regulated you feel. Maybe ideas are coming to you. And trust the ideas that are meant for you will stick. You notice how at peace you feel. Feels like a neutrality, not a numbness, like an evenness all over you. You notice how aware you are of yourself, of your body, of your surroundings. You notice how gentle you are with yourself right now. And you allow that into your world, into your reality, beyond this space. Notice how loving you feel. And now you allow your heart to open wider and bigger, trusting that you are safe, protected here. You notice how forgiving you are to yourself right here in this moment, no matter what you've done or haven't done. You can feel yourself all letting it go. You can feel this emotional safety. This emotional safety is integrating into your blood, into your skin, into your cells, into your organs. Emotional safety. Safety that you created. Safety that you live by. Safety that is untouchable because you are in control. And you just allow yourself to lay there for just a moment in this peace, in this emotional safety. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Allowing every bit of this emotional safety to integrate now. And then you decide to get off the cloud. You send the cloud gratitude. And you walk back through the garden, feeling a little bit lighter, maybe even peppier in your step. Seeing all the beautiful, lush green garden that's there. And feeling gratitude fill your heart for this space. Still noticing the emotional safety that's attached to you. And then you walk through that light once more. Knowing that you can come back here anytime that you desire. And you walk through your heart. And you can put the barricades back up if you desire, though it is not required. And you come back down into the earth. You come back down into the room. You come back down into your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes and open your eyes when you are ready. Oh, okay, we'll just give everybody just a minute here. Okay, so that was a taste of our meditations that we do both inside the community made membership and the meditations that I give to my one to one clients. Now, my meditations that I give to my one to one clients are we do a lot of releasing of rage and shame. I know that that's really heavy, but as a survivor, those are going to be very important for you to be able to release them. We also do chakra alignment within them, body alignment, and of course, reset and rewire. Those are not necessarily in the community made membership. However, there is a plethora of guided meditations inside the membership. So if you really want a space where you will be with other women that are going on the healing journey of healing from sexual trauma and just coming into this place of peace and purpose, and you want that one-to-one interaction, but you're not quite ready to do a one-to-one investment, then the community made membership is going to be for you. Each week we do an hour every Tuesday. So the first Tuesday of the month is going to be learning or medicine. The second week is going to be journaling. The third week, meditation. And the fourth week is going to be support. It's very powerful. This is exactly why I set up the workshop this way, so that you can get a feel of whether or not this is really for you. And we go deeper. We spend more time in the meditation. We spend more time in the journaling so that there's integration, so that you can truly connect with yourself. And of course, we spend more time in the support section so that you can really have your questions answered in a very safe place. Again, we do all of the recording so that you can then go back to this Netflix, if you will, of recordings, so you can look at the journal prompts, so you can look at the learning and the medicine and all of that. However, again, the support is actually not recorded. And the reason why is to protect your identities and create this space of safety. Now, that membership is $97 a month. You can cancel at any time that you would like. This is the best way to get support during your healing journey and is coupled perfectly with therapy. So if you would really like to dive into that and be in that community and in that space, that's definitely going to be for you. Now, if you want to really release without reliving, you want to reset and rewire your nervous system, you really want to come into this place of peace and presence and purpose, then the one-to-one space is going to be for you. The one-to-one space is 12 weeks long. Your sessions are anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes long. We meet once a week for 12 weeks, and you receive personalized support and attention that is specific to you. It is so powerful. My clients truly heal from sexual abuse within this program, and it is combined with my personal experience and my education and my certification to make the most powerful and potent container that you can receive. Now, this container is $3,500 pay in full. If you need a payment plan, I do have that available. Let me make sure I get this correctly so I can tell you exactly what it is that you need to know. So it is a $750 deposit with 6 payments of $459. So it's 6 monthly payments. So even after we're done working together and you're still making those payments, you do not have to make 6 payments within the 12 weeks. I do that because I understand that you're investing in yourself, and sometimes we need some flexibility, right? And maybe that even may not work for you. PayPal actually offers an option that you can use PayPal to get a loan, and they pay me directly, and then you pay PayPal. You can also check that out. If you would like to get into that, please just send me a DM or a message, but let me drop the link for you for the community made membership. Now, again, if you're watching this on the replay, don't worry. I am going to be sure that you have the link down in the description, in the notes, etc. But here is the membership if you are interested. I hope I spelled that correctly. So that is there. Again, that's $97 a month. Again, this the one-to-one program is $3,500 pay in full, or there is a payment plan that is available for you. So this is what I have for you as far as this goes. Again, we are going to go into the support section of this, and I do not record the support section of this. So if you really like this workshop and you want to be involved in the next one, I would love to have you involved. If you want to have support, like this type of support and one-to-one and this type of experience every single month, join the membership. The benefit of showing up live is you get to be a part of the support section of this so that you can also have coaching and get your questions answered as well. So I am going to hit the end recording on this, and that's going to be what it is. If you're watching this on the replay, I'm going to love you and leave you. And for the rest of you, I'm so excited to get into the support section of this. See ya. Okay, apparently I don't know how to stop recording.